Good morning everybody and welcome back to Welcome Grove Homestead. Today is a momentous occasion because my parents' house finally passed inspections and today they're getting their power pole put in! Yay! So they're working on that now and let's go take a look. Unwinding power cable. Truck. Hooking it up to the house over there. Alright, so now they are going to work on hooking up the actual power lines and the transformer and all that stuff. But it's short time, so I need to get the milking stuff and go get Claire milked and check on Rapunzel this morning. Last night, her bag was the fullest I've ever seen it. And it was really cool. Actually, she let me brush most of her body. And I got to feel baby moving around in there. That was really cool. It's like, I hadn't seen it moving before. I hadn't felt it moving. And I knew she was bred because I've been seeing these changes, but it's really cool to actually get to feel something like that moving around. It's so fun. Anyway, off to milking. Good morning, Rapunzel. How are you, sweetheart? Large and in charge. Oh, beautiful. You're absolutely glowing, darling. Oh, Claire. Hello, beautiful. Well, let's get you ready. Get your grain all ready, and then you can come in. I'm ready. Alright everybody, it is later in the day. We ran a few errands a little ways away and we actually picked up a little Valentine's Day gift for our lovely lady geese. We picked up some boyfriends for them. Hello gentlemen. Couple new guys. They're a little freaked out. Everything's new. We're going to get them unloaded. Let them settle down. We do have one of the boys here in the back. He does have a little bit of angel wing. Hopefully there'll be some nice new additions to our flock. Oh, I know, scary. He does not like the dog. Hello all, it's the next morning. So I didn't film the ganders last night because the camera kind of freaks out new animals and they're already kind of freaked out in a new place. So I kind of just let them stay in lockup until nighttime, and then they were in lockup overnight. So this morning we're gonna let them out for the first time out into the yard with the other geese and with all the other birds, and we'll see how that goes. I'm sure there's gonna be some adjustment They were not fans of seeing the dog when they were in the back of the truck. They were hissing at him. So I'm sure there's going to be a learning curve between them and Gideon as he learns to leave them alone. But I think they're all going to settle and they'll do fine. Gideon, one. Alright, let her go. Hey, look at that. Full of eggs. Nice. It's funny, after having the female geese now for a little bit, you get used to how they walk and the males look so funky.
They look like bowling pins with legs.
Just look at the difference. There's a female, how she walks, and then there's those two. Just silly. Not silly, just different. So one of the things we've been wanting to do with Claire since we got her is actually get her tested for the A2 gene to see if she produces A2 milk. And we finally actually went ahead and pulled the trigger and I got the kit. So I'm going to pull a hair sample from her today and we're going to send out that test. It'll take us probably a couple weeks to get results back, but I'm a little excited, guys. If we ended up getting a cow that produces A2 milk for the price that we got her, as well as her being bred and came with 2 calves, it's just all around an amazing deal. But also, if she isn't actually an A2 cow but carries the gene, like say she's an A1, A2 cow, means that we could breed her, select for a A2 bull, and we could potentially get a heifer out of her that would produce A2 milk. So we're gonna pull her hair sample today, get it sent in, and just wait on those results. Alright, so we're gonna pull some tail hairs. I know, darling. Okay. Alright, so here's my hair sample. It's got the roots on it, but you don't want to touch the roots because that'll contaminate your sample. But I gotta unwind it. And we're going to tape this to the test form and we'll send it to the lab. Alright, so here I've got my order form, my test form. It's got a spot where you can put your sample, and we're just gonna fold it so that the sample is protected in the folds of the paper. And then it's gonna go in an envelope and go in the mail. Super simple. We ordered this test through UC Davis. It's pretty affordable. It's very simple and easy to follow the directions. And so this will just go in an envelope and get sent out today. All right, darling Claire, let's let you out. Come on, good girl. Yeah, you're a good girl. So another thing that we get to do on this lovely February day is deworm the goats, because that's something that we do. Every week we deworm our goats with an herbal mix. So we use Land of Havilah herbal dewormer on all of our goats. And we drench them. A lot of people do dosing balls where they mix in like molasses and other good things, but I have goats that don't love molasses, and it's just easier for me to just drench everybody. They're all used to it now. And a drench means that you just make it a liquid, pour it in their mouth, and they swallow it. So they've all gotten used to it. A couple of them even like it, like weirdos, like Mayhem. She'll actually just eat it straight, so I don't have to drench her. But we always start with the boys, I'm not sure why, but we just do. So we're gonna get these guys dewormed and then move on to the girls. Alright, so that means all the boys are done. So we're moving on to the girl pen, where these this deworming formula is still totally safe to use on pregnant does. They've been getting it every week throughout their whole pregnancy, and they've been doing absolutely fine. Audrey here is my assistant. She mixes each dose for me, because otherwise it takes way longer, because I have to dose a goat, go mix it, dose a goat, go mix it. So makes it a little easier, a little faster, more streamlined. But Audrey's going to show you how we mix it.
So for our big goats, we do a 1 teaspoon measurement of this herbal dewormer, herbal powder dewormer stuff, and put it into our mixing bowl. Add a little bit of water, but you don't want to make it too thick or too watery. And we just use a spoon to stir it up. Nice, so that it looks like this. And then we take a baster and just slurp it all up. And we give it to the goats. For our little goats, we use a half teaspoon and water. See, this way too gloppy.
Never mind. I know. Atta girl. Not the end of the world.
You're
Okay,
next.
Darling. I know. She's like, no. Come on. I know. Ooh. Making a mess. There you go. Okay, that's not so bad. Good girl. Alright, Mayhem is our weirdo that likes to just eat it. So she'll eat it all right out of the bowl. Everybody always wants to know, what are you eating? What are you eating? Do I want some? And then they realize, oh no, I don't want any of that. She'll also lick the spoon clean. Is it all over in your lips now?
She's looking at the camera.
You want that? There you go.
Weirdo goat.
Come on, little Jane, it's your turn. Good girl. Good girl.
You're also weird. Baby.
Okay, one more.
One more.
All right, tiny goat. Ugh, there we go. There you go.
All done.
So as the goats develop in their pregnancies, I put them on the stand periodically, not every day. And they get a little bit of grain, and I feel for movement from the babies. Now Miss Betsy here definitely feeling movement on her, and she is due in early April. Oh yeah, they're really going right here. So I have confirmed movement on everyone except Nestle. And I think the big reason behind that is that Nestle is a very deep-bodied doe. So it's gonna just be harder to feel anything in her. I don't know if we will feel anything before she kids. And I haven't yet seen any udder development on her, but it's still a little early. She's the second to last goat due. She's due actually a couple days after Betsy is. But I don't know yet what her habit is when she's pregnant. If she develops an udder slowly throughout her pregnancy, or if she just pops right at the end. I don't know all that yet. So we're gonna just keep an eye on her. I never saw her come back into heat, so I'm kind of assuming that she was bred, that she is pregnant, but just gonna have to wait and see. So some time has gone by today, and David's home.
It has.
And wanted to show you guys a little project that we're working on, which is getting a nursery pen ready.
Yes, ma'am.
For the goats.
And I've got power tools.
I'm so excited. So, why are we building a nursery pen?
Yeah, why are we building a nursery pen?
We are building a nursery pen because, so what's happening is that we have multiple goats that are all gonna be due in a similar time frame.
Starting in like 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Less than
coming
3
right
weeks.
up.
And we also have a young LGD, livestock guardian dog, who has not yet been tested with baby animals. And in all fairness, she's only a year old, so I think that it would be safest if we have a nursery for the babies to get bigger, let her get exposed to them with the safety net of a fence.
And
before.
since we have like all this barn space just adjacent to the goat pen, that we're already using 2 of the 6 stalls, or 5 stalls, we figured we can pen in one of the extra stalls for specifically adjacent to the guardian dog, space for the babies, keep them safe, and
Basically
little investment.
It lets us keep moms with new babies in a protected space, and then when we are ready to milk the moms, the babies have to go in lockup, and we're gonna have a lot of babies. So it's gonna be a nice baby safe place that we can put them overnight when we're gonna be milking their moms in the morning.
And let's really be honest here. It's just an excuse to use power tools. Anyway, we're gonna put some gates in, come see.
Okay, so this space here originally housed a whole lot of hay. So David is putting in 2 gates for our new nursery area because the hay that we have to pull from the goats is over here. So we gotta move all this stuff out of the way and open up a bale, and we need a pathway to get to the hay feeder all the way on the other side. So we need 2 gates to get through here, because once we have a fence going across these 2 posts, it gets a lot trickier if you don't have gates to get through. So, yeah.
All right, so I just want to throw in there, when you're hanging one of these gates, it's real easy to make this mistake. So if you've done it, fine, you've already learned this. If you haven't, or you have yet to hang a gate, super important that you don't put these hooks on the same way. See, they hang on like so, right? Or like so. Either one is acceptable, but they have to be opposite. Otherwise, the gate will just lift off or drop down. So, this is how you would do it. Okay, at the top or opposite, like so. And that way, the goats or the animals can't just lift the whole gate off. Or, you know, someone coming onto your property who's like, hey, that's a fancy new gate you got there. I'll take it. Anyway, learned that, almost learned that the hard way the first gate I ever hung. I'm sharing that with you so you don't have to. So a very reasonable question at this point would be, how do you get a gate hung when you have those going the opposite way? And it's a question anyone would ask if they're thinking this through. And the answer is, these have adjustable hooks. So what we'll do is we will loosen that, and it'll drop down right over our lovely hook hanging on there. Anyway, that's what's next.
like a functioning gate.
It's mostly functional.
little loft open to that, so that'll be full.
Look at how nice and snug that is. No baby squeezing
I was
out
gonna
of there.
say, this side, no babies get through. On this side, a Rosie could fit through, I think. I don't know, it's pretty narrow, but we had a baby named Rosie. She was the tiniest goat ever. She could probably do things we shouldn't plan for all goats to be able to do.
But when Rosie was small enough to fit through there, she was living in the house.
True story.
So,
Rosie, you know, get in
yeah.
once you screw a 2x4 there.
Right? I love that it just kind of stays where you put it.
It's beautiful. I mean, it won't stay where you put it when there's goats in it.
Perfectly balanced. Nailed it.
They'll never get out unless you come on this side of it.
Right.
Well done, darling.
Thank you.
Now do it again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got 2 gates to put in. Well, the day is leaving us. The light is gone. The project is done, and unfortunately it's too dark in that barn to show you. But we got both the gates hung, which is pretty cool. On this coming Saturday, after we celebrate Nathan's birthday with his friends, we will go ahead and finish the fencing and get that pen all squared away, get some kidding pens ready to go, which, like I said, we only have a few weekends left. So we have to, as they say, make hay as the sun shines, but we're not making hay right now. It's more like just get stuff done when we have time.
All right, so I just finished milking Miss Claire. She's finishing up her grain, but I wanted to show you guys kind of what my nightly check is with Rapunzel, if the light's gonna work with us. But I want to show you guys kind of what I'm looking for and what I'm looking at. Okay, so we're in with Rapunzel with my handy dandy cell phone flashlight. She may not show us very well here, but we are looking at her udder, which is growing day by day, but it's definitely not full. You can see, like, it's definitely not full and tight. Actually, it looks like it's gone down. So with heifers especially, they'll have what's called a false fill, where their udder is going to get really full looking, and then it's going to shrink down, and it looks like it's actually shrunken. So I'm hoping that that's our false fill and that she'll calve in the next few days. But another thing that I'm looking at is her lady bits. Basically, when she's got some mucus coming out, it's going to be pretty close to go time. So there are other signs, but it's going to be a little trickier because she is a little bit on the hefty side. Things like looking at the ligaments on the sides of her tail head, hers are almost indiscernible just because she does have a lot of fat padding there. So I'm not really relying too heavily on that one. But checking on her vulva, also known as her lady bits, and her udder are the big indicators for when she's going to go into labor. So I'm hoping that we've had our false fill and that she's going to drop this calf here in a couple of days. Thank you so much for joining us today, introducing you to our new ganders and taking a look at some of our old friends here on the farm. As always, this is your country nerd with a goat herd and a growing cow herd, saying that you can grow where you're planted.